Here's how to answer this AQA GCSE chemistry question. The question reads, Figure 5 represents molecules of methane and polyethylene. Methane is a gas at room temperature, but polyethylene is a solid at room temperature. Explain why methane and polyethylene exist in different states at room temperature. And this question is worth 4 marks. Now the first thing to understand, that we need to understand for this to answer this question, is the difference in structure between methane and polyethylene. Well, polyethylene, if we have a look, has this N. This means that this whole molecule here is repeated N number of times. Remember that a poly in front of a molecule means that this is a long chain of this single monomer. So poly comes from polymer. So this just means that this is a polymer of the monomer ethene. It's a long chain of repetition of ethene. So in reality, this long chain, this single molecule is like this. A very long chain that carries on. But if we should draw some of it to represent how long this is, and like I say, it carries on like this, whereas this is just one singular molecule of methane. And just like that, it's just one singular molecule. So even looking at these two, this sort of expanded diagram, we can see that there's a lot more bonds between molecules. So that means that it's going to take a lot more energy to overcome the forces holding all of these molecules together rather than and compared to this singular molecule here. And that is what we're going to talk about and answer, the intermolecular forces. So let's answer the question. Well, examiners for this question accepted 2 different variations of this answer. One if you're talking about methane, and one if you're talking about polyethylene. So if we look at the methane one, the first mark, well, it comes from saying that methane, it has smaller molecules. And notice how I said smaller. Because I'm talking about methane, even though I'm only talking about methane, we need to be comparing both of them. If you only talk about methane without this comparative language, you're not going to score all the marks. The second mark comes from saying, so it has weak intermolecular forces. The third mark comes from saying these intermolecular forces, the weak intermolecular forces, need less energy to overcome. And the fourth and final mark is to say that the boiling / melting point is lower. And therefore methane is a gas at room temperature. If we were to answer it from the side of polyethylene, the first mark comes from saying that polyethylene has much larger molecules. Second mark, so has stronger intermolecular forces. Here it's supposed to be weaker. Again, comparative language. Third mark, it needs more energy to overcome. And the fourth mark comes from saying, so the boiling / melting point is higher, and therefore polyethylene is a solid.